So if you've been hanging out on this channel for a while, obviously this looks a little bit different than where I'm usually filming and jumping. And this is gonna be a training vlog. This is gonna be me kind of documenting the workouts that I'm doing every single week for a couple different reasons. I'm gonna get into those reasons literally right now and kind of explain what this is all about and honestly what you can expect to see week to week out of this vlog. So here's the thing, obviously last year, 2020, a little bit on the rough side when it comes to being consistent with working out. The at-home fitness life, honestly, for me personally, not such an easy or smooth transition, and even really to this point, not really starting with the kind of fitness foundation or the strength of my body that I wish that I would have at this point, or what I used to have prior to the pandemic and all of the 2020 madness, right? And I've been trying to figure out, like, okay, what's the best way for me to stay consistent? I've tried a lot of different ways to be consistent with fitness and to kind of adapt to this new style of working out. Not necessarily new workouts per se, but like obviously being at home versus in a gym environment, way different. So that's what this is gonna be. It's primarily, honestly, for me, to get what I wanna get done with working out, but then, you know, obviously the recording is a great benefit, hopefully, for you. Hopefully you like this as well. So what is this kind of gonna look like? What are we gonna do week to week? Well, I'm gonna make a vlog like this, the workouts that I did the previous week, and just kind of literally video log of the workouts. And recording is just something that helps me, like when I'm recording my workouts, it helps me be not only more consistent, but like I want to do better in the workout because it feels like someone's watching, whereas otherwise I just kind of skimp on it. So that's the primary reason for why I'm doing this, is honestly for my own benefit. But I'm not just going to be like working out randomly. Like I do have goals that I'm going to work towards, and I wrote them down because obviously you got to write down your goals. Some of them are smart in terms of, if you know, like, you know, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, that kind of a goal that's actually laid out. Some of them are like that. Some of them are a little different because at this point in me jump roping, at this point with my jump rope career and history, like there's a lot of things that are very intuitive to me after, you know, a decade and a half or so of jumping. So things that I'm trying to get out of jumping and out of this vlog, we're looking at a 3-month time frame because that's what works for me and that's what I'm going to start with. The first goal is to improve my double under frog form, so getting stronger, feet together, just building up the strength that I used to have. Next goal is to improve crossing proficiency across all the foundational crosses. So can I do these skills? Yes, I can do them, but I want to get them really comfortable, really proficient, really clean form across, you know, not only just one side, but both sides backwards, all that good stuff, because obviously one of the highest tiers of efficiency and ability to do skills is to do a skill or a crossing skill on both sides and both sides backwards. And I really want to actually put the time in and train that. All right, next up is to increase range of motion in my right calf. I know that sounds like ridiculously specific, but my right leg has always had an extra tight calf muscle, and that is an issue for a lot of different things, and it bugs the hell out of me. So I want to fix that. That's one of my goals of things to work on over the next 3 months. Last couple here, we've got break a 170, or at least hit or break, you know, match or exceed a score of 170 in 60-second speed. I want to pull a 93 in 30-second speed, and I want to keep my heart rate for 100 triple unders under 175 beats per minute. And I know that these are really weird numbers and really specific, but very useful for me and based on a lot of other previous data. So those are the main goals that I'm looking at. Double under frogs, crossing proficiency, range of motion in the calf, 170 is 60-second speed, 93 in 30-second speed, 100 unbroken triple unders with a heart rate under 175, because I used to be able to do, all of these are things that are not particularly crazy for me. I've hit a 168 in 60-second speed. I've hit a 92 in 30-second. I obviously can do double under frogs. I've been able to do those for years. I have all these crosses kind of locked down. I can do them, but they're not quite as proficient. And then I used to be able to do 100 triple unders unbroken for warm up. So these are all things that my body has genuinely gotten so much weaker, and my skill level has dropped dramatically over the last year and a half. And I don't like that, so I'm gonna change it. And you're coming along with me for the ride. So that's really, you know, the goals that we're looking at. And the reason why I'm making this. So what did last week look like? Because obviously, like, the way these work is that I'm gonna do this review that we're doing right now. This that's happening right now happens at the end of the week. So I've already done all of the workouts last week, and I can kind of do like a post-game analysis effectively. I'm gonna explain what I did. I'm just gonna actually, honestly, let's do this. I'm gonna throw up the workouts right now. So you're just gonna have them on the screen. I'm just gonna kind of play them so you can see what the workouts were and see what I did. Now, I've got a lot of different ways that I am going to approach the goals that I've set for myself, and there's a lot of different things that I've got notes on in the back end, and there's a lot there, but we're just gonna focus on what I actually did, because it doesn't matter what I'm thinking or planning, it matters what actually got done. I started off most of the workouts this week with 10 reps of a skill on both sides, and that was usually about 5 to 7 different skills. So like wrist pop mix, rope toss mixed with a long handle, AS crosses, CL crosses, a bunch of those, you know, turns, all that kind of good stuff. And that usually is a great way to warm up, because again, it's very efficiency focused. It's not really difficult. It doesn't really strain my body, but it does get me warmed up. Sometimes I'll do like 5 or 10 minutes of jumping, just single under straight without a miss, because that's also a good way for me to kind of warm up. So usually one of the two, sometimes both. Each day I put in a very hefty chunk of mobility, because again, as we talked about, right leg, calf, overly tight, need to stretch that out. So there's a huge piece of mobility, but also like one of the unspoken rules, or one of the unspoken goals that I'm setting for myself, is really just to get my entire body feeling better. And you can't have your entire body feeling better, you can't be strengthening things up without also stretching and mobilizing each of the joints. So that is a huge part of it. And also, it just feels really good afterwards once you finished. Now, I've also got some kind of strength training every single time I do a workout, because you have to have strength, you have to have cross training, or at least my philosophy is that you have to have some kind of cross training and strength in your workouts, especially like right now. Like, I've got a lot of weaknesses, and I sit down like a lot, which is fine. Like, the work is cool, I like doing it, but sitting down for hours and hours a day really does wreck your body. So I need a lot of strengthening to get my muscles kind of built back up, but then also obviously the mobility to kind of couple with that. So this week, huge focus on deadlifts, because deadlifts are, I mean, it's hard to find something that a deadlift doesn't fix, besides obviously lower back pain, but like deadlifts are phenomenal. Definitely a lot of full range of motion push-ups, because I really like those. I think that they're really fun, and I really like the way it feels, and I like doing that movement, because it translates, I think, really well over to a lot of strength skills. So full range of motion on some P-bars, and kind of dipping my chest lower than my shoulders. Usually I have my feet on an upside down Bosu ball, because it creates a little bit of instability, but I like my feet being level, and then having that a little bit of instability to make it a little bit more challenging and fun. This is a really good time to point out that you're not supposed to duplicate what I'm doing here. This is not a workout plan for you. This is literally me, what works for me based on my own history. And some of these things, the way I talk about some of these things, may seem like, if you're new to jump rope, you might be like, this guy's nuts, saying that his foundation is, you know, a little bit weak or whatever. But keep in mind, this is all relative to my own progress. It's all relative to where I've been in the past, and you should not be duplicating my workouts. You should not be taking what I'm doing and assuming that it's your path, or that it should be your path as well, because that's not the point of this at all. It's just simply to share what I'm doing. If you're inspired, something matches you as well, that's great, but do not look at this and be like, that's what I need to be doing. That's not what this is supposed to be at all. So with that clarification made, I mean, I think you probably already understand that, but it's worth making that clarification again. So especially as we get into like weightlifting and strength training, those are things that you want to learn how to do properly. None of these things that I'm doing in this training vlog are brand new skills. These are all things that I have trained for years, you know, both the jump rope skills, but then also like weightlifting and mobility techniques and all these different things I've trained for years and years and years. So I've got a lot of history with them. So anyway, moving on. So deadlifts were at about 135 pounds. There was one set towards the end of the week that was 155, which is it's good to see the increase, but again, like, those are really, really low weights for me and kind of where I'm at, but it's all right, because again, a lot of this, what I'm doing right now, is really focus on building up strength and kind of getting back the body strength and the power that I used to have. And that stuff just takes time and patience, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. So anyway, we got those deadlifts. We've got the full range of motion push-ups. I usually couple the full range of motion push-ups with myotatic crunches on a Bosu ball, because they just go together really well. And it's something that I've been doing for years and years and years. And I just really like that combo of skills. So did those a lot, and also did some back squats this week, because it's been a long time since I've done some back squats, and I wasn't really sure how those are going to work out, because again, when you've got a tightness in your calf when you're trying to do squats, that can have a huge negative impact. But as it turns out, it felt pretty good. I was really happy with the way my back squats felt. I didn't do that many sets. I kept it really low because my leggies were gassed out, right? And I didn't want to absolutely destroy them. So I kept it to a really small amount of sets, but overall felt good. And I'm honestly still a little bit sore from them, which is good because it's the right kind of soreness. So that's pretty much the bulk of what happened last week. There's not really much else that's that notable. I did obviously all the jump rope skills, the individual skills, and kind of training those. I did some push up, backwards up, and that was challenging. I have a little bit of an imbalance, or a lot of an imbalance with the arms, as you probably can see in some of these videos. I tend to lift up unevenly, so it's a very conscious effort to fix that. And then also thinking about really slowing down my form to accomplish those. And I only got a handful of reps successfully completed, but I put in a good chunk of those. The last thing that we're gonna touch on here is the triple unders. I did a lot of triple unders this week and kind of getting those, again, trying to get those back up to par. It started out with sets of 25, and then I moved that up to 30 because 25 was, it felt really good. It was pretty easy. And I wanted to move that up to 30 unbroken, which was good. And those felt all right, but you know, this leg being tight really does kind of throw things off axis sometimes, and it's a little bit frustrating. So that's pretty much it for everything that I did last week. I mean, overall, I would say pretty good start. I think it was a good way to get back into being consistent. I definitely, so far, feel like filming it is really useful. It feels like a good, like for me, filming workouts and filming jump rope skills is very much a comfort zone. It's something that like I've been doing since I started jumping rope. So to have a camera set up and to be moving through the workout that way was very motivating. So I'm looking forward to doing more of this. I'm not necessarily super happy yet with the performance. Obviously, I'm starting in my mind from really just laying the foundation. So nothing crazy yet, but I think it was successful in terms of activating the right muscles, feeling good, no weird pains. Overall, I feel better now than I did at the beginning of the week. So that part is a huge success. And you might also notice that there was no mention of speed step this week, and I'm well aware that I didn't really do any speed. And to be honest, there's not really a good reason for that, other than I did all the other stuff first, and I was like, I'll get to speed tomorrow, and then I didn't. So that's it for the training vlog. Let me know what you thought about this. If you dug it, there's gonna be more coming, honestly, whether or not you did dig it. So, I mean, your feedback is always appreciated, but I'm still gonna do another one. So that's gonna happen. And I'm gonna close this out with a montage of misses, because I think the most appropriate way to kind of close out this vlog would be to show you all the things that I missed, because no matter where you are with your jump rope career or with your jump rope journey at all, you're always gonna miss, no matter what. So here is a nice little montage of all the times I missed this last week. All right, I'll see you next week.